Now scream queen with a million smiles. Catching all the love from around the world. Whoa. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? Shine your light in the darkest times. You make it bright, bright. Life's dreams, we're all by your side, by your side. Keep on doing what you do, girl. You're one of a kind, one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're our light street star. Keep rocking your show, no matter where you are.
Hey, Shelly from the block. Jersey girl with a mouth that won't stop, no, no. Sassy, and I'm not afraid to show it. Gonna spill the tea, you better be ready for it. I speak my mind, no filter inside. Shelly's in the house, talking trash and truth. No sugar-coated blues. Yeah, out the way. Jersey girl with something to say. Shelly's in the house, time to break the rules. From coast to the city, I'm the queen of cool. You can handle the heat, then take the high. Shelly's in the house, drop the mic.
Hey, Shelly in the house tonight. Living it up, feeling so right. Yeah. New Jersey girl, she's got that style. Live stream queen with a million smiles. And she know the love from around the world. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? It's time to make it right. Live stream queens with a wayside. You're one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're a live stream star. Keep rocking the show no matter where you are. Yeah.
Hey, happy Monday. It is May 6th, 2024. We are already deep into May, y'all. It is 9:33 a.m. on the East Coast. I am Shelly, your mouthy mama with Talking Trash and Truths, and this is Coffee and Chaos with T3. That's me. Today we are on Joe Watch, so we're going to deviate from our normal psychological and emotional discussions, and we are going to focus on our good friend and fellow streamer, Joe Nierman, also known out there as Good Lawgic, the not leader of the following. I happen to be digger number 50. So if you know, you know. Joe today is embarking on a special kind of quest. I call it his noble quest. And it's something not a lot of people out there can do or are willing to do. And Joe's willing to take it on the chin, put his, reputation, everything on the line for what he believes in. And what he believes in is our First Amendment rights to free speech. It doesn't matter if what you're saying is mean, if it's, what they consider quote unquote hate speech, which doesn't really exist. Anything you have to say, you have a right to say it and suffer the consequences of your actions. Nobody should be able to tell you you can't say words because somebody might be offended or, somebody will disagree with you. That's what the world is all about. If you don't let people speak, you don't know what they truly believe in. You don't know where they stand. You don't know what you're dealing with. So you're going into every situation blind. It's always better to let somebody, rather than prove they're an idiot, let them prove it themselves. Just don't stop them. I know there's a saying about it. I can't remember it right now. But I mean, if somebody is determined to, make a fool of themselves, let them. If they want to show that they're racist or bigoted, let them. At least you know where you stand and where they stand. So you know how to come at the issues. Joe believes in everybody's right in America to, well, I'm pretty sure he believes in everybody's right, but here we actually have a constitutional right. It's the very first one, our right to free speech. And suddenly the establishment, the government decided, no, we're going to weaponize the judicial system. and we're going to take away somebody's, right to free speech by gagging them for no freaking reason. Well, we don't like that they're mean. They're not mean. They're brutally honest. They have a, penchant for really cute nicknames, but they're going not after a regular citizen. They're not going after Joe Schmo on the corner. They're going after the president of the United States. I mean, somebody says former, but to me, he's always going to be president of the United States, Donald Trump. Now, like him, love him, hate him, whatever. It doesn't matter who he is. I mean, it does, but in the end, he's still an American. He still has First Amendment rights. And there's a judge out there who has gone after Trump and put a gag order on him because, he might say mean things about the staff and about, my family, and I have to protect my daughter, his grown ass daughter, who works for the Democrats, by the way. But nowhere is this constitutional. These people are not covered by what this gag order is supposed to be for. Judges are not supposed to do that. I don't know the specifics of it. I'm not a lawyer. I literally just follow along with what all the lawyers say. And so far across the nation, everybody's bitching about the gag order, but nobody was willing to actually do something about it. Joe stepped up and decided to sue Judge Merchan, I believe is how you pronounce his name, for being an unconstitutional, so-and-so. I'm going to try my best to control my mouth today. I don't exactly know how it's going to go because Joe has this way of he gets all fired up and that fires me up and then I just run off at the mouth. It's a Jersey thing. Okay. I feel a special kind of connection to Joe. He's a Jersey boy, just like me. I'm not a Jersey boy, I'm a Jersey girl. But, let's just say it's a Jersey thing and we'll leave it there. Real quick, I just want to look into the chat, say hi. Elifant said, if you are able to, please donate to help Joe in the fight. Yeah, on YouTube, I pinned that at the top of the page so you can get Joe's gifts and go. I just want to make sure that everything is working, so just bear with me. Y'all know I'm not good with the technical stuff, and I got a whole bunch of screens up, like ready to go, because Joe today is going to court. Now, at 9:15, let me grab my phone. Joe put out isn't this lovely? 4 minutes ago, I get a news update. Judge finds Trump in contempt again for violating the gag order in the hush money case and says he will consider jailing him in the future. I couldn't read it. My eyes went all blurry. That happens when you're old. I start doing the telescoping phone thing where I'm like, away, closer. So now they want to consider jailing him in the future. Well, you know what? That judge can go scratch. Joe posted at 9:15 link to the First Department oral argument, which you'll find in the description in my YouTube and on my Rumble. It's the Wowza New York Courts link, which we'll be looking at. There's no guarantee that anything's going to happen. Right now, it's buffering. It's telling me that the network failed, so I'm not entirely sure how well we'll do there, but we shall see. And he said, you may or may not see me. So he said, I still don't know if I'll get to orally argue or on this. Joe's, I still do not know if I will get to orally argued or this is on submission. So he doesn't know if he's going to get to speak or if this is just something where he just hands it in. So he said, you may or may not see me. And that's fine. We'll keep an eye on that link. If anybody can do that for me, I would appreciate it, because it says this media could not be loaded either because the server or network failed or because the format is not supported. So they're pretty much trying anything they can to let us not see this. Now, I don't have a VPN on or anything like that, so I'm not blocking it in any way. So this is just the courts being dicks. New York does not like to stream its court cases. I'm going to tell you that right now, because they don't want you to see what's going on, and that makes me suspicious as well. Anyway, back to Ellie. Ellie posted the link for the Gifts and Go, which last night when Joe started his drafting stream, as we sat there for 6 hours and listened to him type and hum, and Joe sings. It's so cute. It's so cute. They were able to raise about, I think, $3,500. I'm not entirely sure where the gift and go was almost to 19,000 this morning. He's got a $25,000 goal. We're hoping to get him there. There's a couple things that we're hoping to do, but this entire stream is pretty much going to be dedicated to pushing Joe's links and trying to get everybody to either donate or share out his links. I listed all his links in my description. So you have his Twitter, you have his YouTube, you have his Rumble, you have his Gifts and Go, and you have the court feed if you want to watch it on your own or whatever. Nobody's obligated to stay here to watch it. I'm doing this purely for Joe. If all of you can share this out, not this stream, like if you could share his links out, that would be really, really appreciated. If you can't donate, that's fine. You can give your time a little bit. Just spend a couple minutes sending his stuff out, trying to get him a wider and wider reach. Not only do we want to like get him for the Gifts and Go, sub to him. He's almost up to 100K. This man has been working so hard. He was so close. And then YouTube was asshole. And his subs just went, whoop, they just plummeted. Because that's what YouTube does. YouTube giveth and YouTube taketh away. I've been playing with the same 2 subs for like a month. So it's ridiculous. If you can, go to his page, go to his YouTube page, go to his channel, hit that sub button, hit the notifications so you're up to date on everything he's doing. This is all about hashtag ungag Trump. Now, for those of you out there who don't know, like I labeled this, we're on Joe Watch. Good Lawgic goes to court. Because of course I was thinking like Mr. Smith goes to Washington, which is not the same premise, but I mean, it's a big deal. Joe is a very small fish in a huge ocean of corruption, and he's the small, honest fish. And he's trying really, really hard to push against the current that's trying to overtake us. And if we can help him, please do. Please do. Do anything you can. Talk about it. Show people his videos, whatever. We're going to watch one of his little preview videos, which is so cute. Like I said, this is not going to be a very long stream, especially if the court feed doesn't bother coming back up. But what my whole point is just to start the week off on a good note. I'm in a good mood. Things are kind of looking up around here. So I want to pay it forward. And Joe has always been just an amazing person with me and with everybody that has ever come into contact with him, believe it or not. He really is sometimes too good to be true, but he comes from good stock, and we'll get to that. Wolfram dropping those links. Thank you so much. He wipes his paws, lopes in and howls. Ooh, baby. Yeah. Daisy Williams. God bless you for doing this, Shelly. I'll be back checking in saying, oh, honey, for Joe. Yeah, I'll happily do this for Joe. She's a good morning. Wolfram, Digital Soldier, an American hero. G.I. Joe. Go Joe. I would put I'd maybe gastrointestinal Joe because he gets like upset and then he starts burping. I think it's adorable. I don't even think he knows he does it. Last night I spent 20 minutes listening to him bitch about mustard on a hamburger. And I was with you, Joe. It doesn't ruin the burger, but it doesn't make it better. It's unnecessary. It's unnatural. All you people that put mustard on hamburgers, stop it. You stop it right now. Oh, see, no, I got to do it.
Stop eating beans. Bangers and mash. Beans on toast. Stop.
Gotta love some Nick. Oh, and Joe, just in case you were wondering, let's see. Where is it? Where is it? It's Winning's favorite. Here we go. When you go to New York.
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
That's right. That's right. And you tell them what they are.
Hypocrisy.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay, we got by the way, where did oh my god, stupid StreamYard skipped ahead. Digital Soldier, welcome. 90 plus million from Trump's political opponents to Judge Merchan's daughter. Yep. Conflict of interest. It's a huge conflict of interest. And he just wants to like put little mattresses around his little daughter poo. And it's like, your daughter's grown. She chose the playground that she wanted to play in. Well, guess what? If you choose that playground, then if you fall, that's on you. You don't get protected. Like, I know it's a weird analogy, but the woman chose what she wanted to do. And then he chose to take this case. So guess what? If you were that worried about your daughter, maybe, I don't know, you should have passed. You could have passed it on to anybody else. The thing is, nobody wanted this case because it's a bullshit case. I know I said I was going to watch my mouth, but I have a potty mouth and you're just all going to have to get over it. Like, I'm sorry because I get riled up. It's a bullshit case. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted the hush money case. None of it. So this gag order is ridiculous. The fact that all these people that are testifying, whatever, they get to go out, say whatever they want about Trump. They get to spread lies. They get to do book deals and interviews. They're making money hand over fist. He just wants to go in front of the American people and say, hey, this is not right. This is not right. And they won't let him. But you know what? Trump's going to Trump. I met the man when I was younger, and I can honestly tell you there's no difference between then and now. He shook our hands. He said hi to a bunch of 7th graders who didn't know him from Adam. And we were just like, oh my God. Like, we knew who he was because, I mean, we, seen him, but we didn't think he'd stop and talk to us. He was very interested in where are you going? And you go to Central Park, you're going ice skating. That's great. And, he was all like, he was so friendly. That's the man that I knew, and that's the man that I see on TV and at rallies. He's just like the rest of us, only he's got bigger balls than most of these people out there. Everybody out there is looking for their buck. He's out there trying to protect us because he's not wrong. They're coming for us. And they're not even being subtle about it. And he's standing in the way. So they're attacking him. He's our first line of defense. If they get past him, we're done. Like, we're just fodder at that point. Because what do we have? If his rights don't count, the president of the United States, if his constitutional rights mean nothing, what do ours mean to them? Because we're nothing but cogs in a machine. We don't count. We really don't. They give you your social security number and they're like, there, I could track you the rest of your life. And that's it. They don't care what you do. Just don't do anything against them. And if you look like you're going to have the wrong think, like this whole stream is a big wrong think, according to the government, they'll come after you. And he's willing to take the hits. And this is just a very unjust motion. It's an unjust, I'm trying to look for the word. It's not coming to me, like tribulation that they're putting on him. It's another cross for him to bear. And the thing is with Trump, he don't give a shit. He'll tell you this is bullshit. This is all bullshit. The country's being run by like a meat puppet, who has no clue where he is half the time, busy like crapping his pants and, being like, oh, can I smell your hair? Pull my finger. No, that wasn't my finger. Like, I can't. Like, this is who we're being led by. And they're trying so hard to silence Trump because he knows they're full of crap. He knows they're playing games. He knows where they want this all to go. And he's willing to tell us. And they don't want him speaking about it. So they're going to hit him with fines. God, they're hitting him with fines. He literally just like Truth Social went public. The man is a freaking billionaire, like if he wasn't before. I mean, it's terrible that I sometimes think he's almost like he's made of Teflon. And I pray that God stays with him and keeps him being made of Teflon, that nothing will stick. Because he's going to turn all these things that they used against him, he's going to turn them around. I have every faith in Donald Trump. Every faith. My life was so much better under President Trump, under his administration, than under Biden. Under Biden, my life turned to absolute shit. Between the poison they made me put in my arm to keep my job and the absolute destruction of my life because of it, and the destruction it did to my body. Jesus, like everything, it took everything from me. So yeah, I can be a little bitter, but I do stand behind Joe because Joe is willing to stand in front of Trump. He's willing to stand in front of a judge and say, hey, I know this is not popular. I know you're going to, bitch smack me down. And I know I'm probably going to get laughed out of, like the courtroom because you're the judge and you get to do what the hell you want. But I'm still going to have my peace. I'm going to take my stand, say my piece. And there are people who are going to back me up. So if you're one of those people who believes that gagging somebody like for a court order just to keep them silent because you don't want anybody to see your corruption and deceit, if you are in support of somebody who thinks that's unjust, then please show Joe as much support as you can. Like I said, if you can't donate, share the link out to his Gifts and Go. Share the links out to his channel. Get him some followers. Let's get him to 100, K on YouTube. So YouTube has to be like, all right. You'd be amazed the difference in YouTube when you hit that milestone. And I really want to get him out there because he's being suppressed. He's got 96,000 followers. Last night he was doing a stream, only 300 people. How is that possible? How is that possible? I was there the whole night and 300 really? Like, you got to be kidding. And I don't think he's getting anywhere near what he normally gets on Rumble either, which makes me a little sus. Rumble's been a little down on the numbers lately. So either they're being like meddled with or they're, not the platform that I thought they were. But apparently they're for free speech. So if anything, they should be pushing Joe's videos out like crazy. Rumble, if you're out there listening, you might want to pay attention. Joe Nierman, good logic. Push his message because he's going to do nothing but further your own cause and make you more popular as the free speech platform. Okay, so Wolfram, as Mo would say, off to Snake Island with this judge. Absolutely. Nerd morning. Daisy William praying. Let's see. Allegan News. How you doing? Welcome. Do not think we have stream posted in locals. Why? Well, we're waiting. I keep refreshing the page, but it's not allowing me to go into this period. It won't show the court stream. If anybody else has a court stream that works, let me know. I just got network connection error and or not format supported. Yep. They're definitely like, oh no, we don't want people watching this. Wolfkinder, hi honey. Hey Shelly, quick hello, stuff to do. People to call Mondays. Grr, I know Mondays suck. But you know what? At least you get to see a new week. That's always a happy thing. And thank you for being here, babe. Daisy Girl Williams, loved the person in Joe's chat last night that said they only had two skills, praying and cleaning toilets. So she'll be praying for Joe. Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you're good at cleaning toilets, you're usually on your knees scrubbing them, right? So you might as well pray while you're down there. That's not being blasphemous. That's just being multitasking and efficient. Okay, be back in a bit. All right, honey. Hello, families. We have 11 viewers and only 10 like. Oh, you're very sweet. Castro. Hey, Castro, what's up over on the Rumbles? Well, from This Is Political Persecution. Well, prosecution, but it's also persecution. Kind of like the Soviet Union was. You think? It's funny how all the things that we went to war over with all these other countries saying they do this, they do that, and now we do it all. Our government does it all. And they don't do it to other countries, they do it to us. Isn't that wonderful? Because they know nobody's going to bother you if you bother your own people. It's when you bother the people next door that they get upset. So can I ask a question? We're going into all these different wars to help all these people. Who helps us? Does anybody help us? Ever? Oh, we're your allies. But what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? Like, I'm giving you money. I'm giving you weapons. I'm giving you this. I'm giving you clout. I'm giving you support. I'm putting my reputation online for this country and doing this and doing that. And I'm giving you American bodies that mean nothing to the government, but everything to us. Here's our troops. Here, take them. It's fine. Whatever. That's what the government's saying. But who's out there saying the same back to us? We're in a lot of one-way relationships, y'all. Why is the United States the bitch for every other nation on the planet? Oh, because we're so powerful. Really? If you're powerful, you don't need to go and give them your money. You could just say boo, and then that'll be it. Learn how to negotiate. Or how about, here's a really novel idea. Mind your own goddamn business. Take care of this country. Take care of the American people. The people that elected you. Oh, my bad. I'm not even sure that we elected them. But, that's neither here nor there. Because you two don't like it. But why are you out there supporting everybody else, giving everything away, bankrupting us, making us like so in debt we'll never get out of it, taking away all our jobs, all our resources, trying to get us to eat the bugs, like trying to take away beef, trying to take away all, like, you're putting poison in the water. You're making like the vegetables don't even taste like vegetables. Fruit don't taste like fruit. Nothing has a good taste to it. Everything's covered in pesticides and chemicals, and let's make it shiny, but it might kill people. That's all right. It's shiny. Like, what? Why? Why do they hate us so much? Why? I don't get it. Population control, depopulating America, making everything ridiculously expensive so that none of us can afford to, live happily. God forbid you have any kind of security or comfort. No, they got to work you to the bone 24/7. Let's give everybody anxiety. Then we can put them all on meds. They're easier to control that way. These are things I never knew existed 2 years ago. Never. I was one of those people who just went la 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 through life. Like, I had enough shit on my plate with my kids and being a single mother and going back to school and then working full time, and like everything I had to do took precedent over what was going on outside my little microcosm here, the little bubble of Hoboken that I live in, where, trust me, life is unlike anywhere else on the planet. But I knew none of it. And now I can't unsee it. Now I can't stop hearing it. I can't just sit back and listen to somebody giving a speech and not hear all the trigger words, not hear all the bullshit, and not hear the, hey, look over here. Every time something big happens, all these college protests, I'm like, but what are we not seeing while this bullshit goes on? A bunch of teenagers and 20-somethings who go out and, pro this, pro that. They don't even know what they're protesting. They just know they want somebody to listen to them. This is the generation coming like that they're living now. They have a voice, but nothing to say. and nobody who wants to hear it because they have nothing to say because they weren't educated to have something to say. They were educated on pop culture, on influencers, on bullshit social media. That's their education. They're not critical thinkers. They don't know how to do things for themselves. I tell my own kids, I'm like, I feel like I failed you because if they drop the three of us off in the middle of a forest, mommy's the only one making it out alive because y'all ain't going to make it. Not unless you're with me. I can survive in many, harsh environments. They can't. They're not made for it. They didn't teach them that in school. They taught them feelings. Oh, it's all about your feelings and who you think you are. No, it's not who you think you are. It's who you become that interests me. I don't care what gender you think you are. I don't care what species you think you are. Biology tells me one thing. I'm going to go with the facts. I prefer facts over fuckery. I do. Thank you, Emily D. Baker, for that. That's my preference. Out there, you have a whole generation of people screaming because they have feelings they don't know what to do with. I feel this. Why? I don't know. That's because you don't know anything. You don't know anything. You don't know your history because you're so goddamn intent on erasing it. Those who don't learn their history are doomed to repeat it. It's a trite quote for a reason. Oh, that's so cliche. Yes, cliches exist because they're usually true. Yeah, that's why they exist. Anyway, see, talking about Joe always gets me on little rants. It's contagious. It really is. Joe is contagious. Joe loves to rant. Joe's rants are some of my favorite things in the world. I will sit there and listen to him rant and be like, you go, Joe. I get all fired up when he thinks it's funny. Outpost nerd, Chile, that is the $1 million question. If there's a huge natural disaster in the U.S., who comes to help us? There's less profit in negotiating than perpetual war. There's no profit in negotiating, they think. It skipped ahead again. Damn it. Digital said they aren't after Trump, they're after us. And Trump is only in the way. Yeah, absolutely. If they can do this to a billionaire former president, they could do it to any one of us. I actually wrote that right in my description. Thank you for reiterating that. I love it. If they put Trump in jail for this gag order bullshit, they'll also be giving him the White House. Oh yeah. Well, we can't be complicit about it. We can't sit back and be like, oh, Trump's got this. No, every day is going to be a fight. Every day. Because they are dead set on taking our rights away, on taking everything away. And if we don't change the administration to somebody who's willing to fight for us, somebody who's willing to go to jail for the American constitutional rights. If we're not willing to fight for Donald Trump and while he's out there fighting for us, then shame on us. Every single day has to be a fight. Giving into these conspiracies and these conspiracy grifters is ridiculous. Giving them any attention at all, any credence, is ridiculous. We need to be above board. Unfortunately, we need to be at our best, on our best game, because anything we do, they use it as ammunition. Even the good stuff that gets done on our side, and I'm not a Republican. I'm basically I'm just a conservative. I'm right down the middle of the road. I agree with some, of everybody's different ideologies or agendas, but I'm mainly conservative because I went the other way for the first 50 years of my life, and it didn't turn out so great. It didn't. They ruined everything. And because I followed their ideologies, I made really bad decisions because I had really messed up beliefs. It took me a long time to wake up to what was really going on. And then, like I said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You just can't. Uh, the link worked earlier. Yeah, the link worked until they went live and then they took it down. Yeah, that's intentional. Either too many people like overloaded the system, which is possible because everybody's like, hey. I mean, this has been a big campaign trying to get Joe's message out there that he's doing this today. So, like, anybody that can help further that campaign to get Joe seen, get him some money, that would be very much appreciated. That is the entire point of today's stream. Because I mean, I have tons of stuff I can talk about, but I want to talk about Joe. Wolfram, why do they hate us? Because we're the serfs and peasants in their eyes. Absolutely. Remember flyover country? Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we are. The thing is, we fought a whole war to make this country so that we weren't the serfs. We weren't the tenants that, tilled the land for them and paid them ridiculous taxes. We fought over no taxation without representation. Really, what are they doing to us now? What are they doing? They're just giving our money away. And they might not call it taxation, but I shouldn't have to pay $4 for the cheapest loaf of bread on the shelf. Why am I paying $300 a week, which is double the amount that I paid for groceries, for half the groceries I was getting? It's ridiculous how much things are. I went to McDonald's. Well, I didn't go to McDonald's. I sent my son to McDonald's because he wanted it. And I was like, are you kidding me? Because I'm going through the menu on my phone so he could just go pick it up. I'm like, since when is a hamburger $14? When did that happen? Like $14 at like a restaurant, sure. But at a fast food place, like, are you kidding? It's ridiculous how much everything costs. If I go even to the local mom and pops to get something, like get a sandwich, I'm getting a 6-inch sub sandwich with 2 ingredients, no extras, and it's going to cost me $14, $15, $16. What? A plate of macaroni that normally would be like $12 is going to cost me almost $30 now? There's not even meat in it. It's literally macaroni and tomato sauce, like gravy. That's it. Why am I paying this much money? I'm on disability. Thank you, government, for your damn jab. But because of them, do you think my Social Security benefits went up? No. In fact, they went down because they upped their fees. What fees? They won't tell me. Oh, okay. So you get to take money out and do whatever you want and tell everybody else that, oh, she makes this, but I don't get to see that money. How's that work? Okay, you took all these fees. Well, what were the fees for? Oh, that's not important. No, that's important. Go back and tell me. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I was like, wow, this government, like, you suck. You really suck. Like, I love my country. I can't stand my government, but I love my country. I am a very proud American. Even growing up in my house, my grandmother, my grandfather, they were Italian. My great grandparents were right off the boat. They spoke no English. And still, my great grandfather fought in World War I for us. His son, my Uncle Pat, fought in World War II. My grandfather helped make all the, little bombs because he was tiny and he can crawl into the shells and, like solder the devices on, or however the hell they did them. My uncle, instead of going to the Vietnam War, they drafted him to be a drafter. Like, he literally like drew things for the government. Like, that's what he did. He was just some kind of, I don't know, weird architectural engineer with whatever the hell he did. But I mean, I never really got into it with him because I don't like talking to him. But that's neither here nor there. But every single generation of my family has served. My uncle's daughter joined the Navy the day after she graduated high school. She became the squadron leader of the Yellow Jackets in the Navy. She went over to Afghanistan. She was there for 2 years. I sent her tons of care packages. Hell, Carlos Bakery, Cake Boss from TLC, they sent her care packages for me. And even after she came back, they continued to send them. So, like, there's tons of patriotism in my family. We are very loyal to this country. We love this country. I grew up on the American dream. You can have whatever you want if you work for it. That's what they told me. You can have a house if you work for it. You can have a great car every year if you want, if you work for it. You can be comfortable. You can have it all. They did not anticipate the government turning on us to the degree that they did. The American dream is very, very far out of my reach, and we need to bring it back. Because we need to change the entire tenor of this country. Joe is trying to do that in whatever way he can. Let me tell you something. It takes a lot for somebody to stand up to the government, to stand up to the judicial system, especially if you're a lawyer, because they have very long memories. So you never know what the reprisal is going to be. You never know what that backlash could be, if there's going to be any, and then there's the anticipation, because you just don't know. So this is a very brave thing that Joe is doing, and I stand behind him 100%. And I hope you do too. The Civil War was won to preserve slavery, neo-serfdom. I mean, it keeps jumping ahead. I hate StreamYard sometimes. The link worked earlier. We did that. $1 million question. We're the people they're talking about when they said, let them eat cake. She never said that. She never said that. Marie Antoinette did not say that. I know it's a popular thing to say, but I mean, she was just like, screw the people. They like to let everybody believe that. I don't know if it's true or not. I never really got into the whole French government because they're screwed up to begin with. I've more followed the British government and the Russian government. The Gibson goes up to 18,961. Awesome. He's up to almost 19,000. Let's see if we can get him beyond that. Just share it out as much as you can. Jacob started streaming. Absolutely. Check out. I can't speak. Check out Jacob Castro's YouTube. I'm gonna refresh again. See if nope, still no link. Alrighty. You're welcome. Castro said, I have the shrapnel my grandfather dug out of his thigh in World War II. Oh my goodness. You know that uncle that I talk about every once in a while, my Uncle Bernard, Uncle Bernie. He was the one that he used to eat glass. So you had to like hide your fine china and your crystal if he came over, because he would literally sit there and eat glass. He's also the one that put horse manure on his head to grow his hair because somebody told him it was a good idea. He was spots, which in Italian is crazy. He got that way because he had shell shock. That's what they called it back then. He was in was it World War II? Yeah, he was in World War II. And he had shell shock. And it was really, really bad. Now they call it PTSD, but they didn't understand it then. They just said, oh, some of the soldiers, they come back like that. He saw a lot of battle. A lot. He told my grandmother horrible stories. And he would just sit at the kitchen table and she said he didn't cry. Nothing. He would turn into like this just zombie as he just repeated the story. Completely emotionless, completely expressionless. And it terrified her. That terrified her more than the story itself. The disassociative way that he said it. Now, she didn't know words like disassociation. But I mean, I knew later on. I was like, oh, that's what she meant. Because she was like, it was like he wasn't even in there. She said, and sometimes he'd get this crazy look in his eyes and he'd go all like weird and he'd start flipping out and breaking things. She's like, and then he'd sit down and he'd eat 2 champagne glasses like it was nothing. She was like, I had to learn to hide everything every time he came over. After a while, like she didn't bring any of the good stuff out ever. because he didn't like the regular plates because apparently they're hard to digest. Yo, don't ask me. But I mean, this is the shit that my country has done, to my family. And my family served happily. They were proud to serve. My mother's husband served. My brother Freddie was a Marine. He went through the Marines. He was stationed overseas for like 4 years. He missed my daughter's birth. He was so mad because she was the first one. And he was so mad because he was over, I think he was in either Italy or Spain. I don't remember. But they've all served. All of them. At some point, there's one in at least every generation, that has served in one capacity or another because we love this country, not because we support the government. We love our country. We dedicate our time to our country. We're proud to be Americans. Joe Nierman is proud to be an American. I'm pretty sure he feels the same about our government as I do. Like, we could do without. Really. We could do without. Less government, more power in the people's hands. Let us live our own lives. We're adults. We're expected to raise tiny humans, but they want to take all our power away from raising the tiny humans so they can groom them their own way. They could subvert them and turn them into whatever they want them to be. It's not fair. It's not right. And we all need to stand up, be educated on it. Winning Reality's always talking about this kind of stuff. He's always showing their hand. He gives you the strategies that they use. He talks about all the different, what is that Yuri, I can never pronounce his last name, but he talks about Yuri and how Yuri tells you this is what they're doing to you. They're tricking you, doing this. They do this. They know you're going to do this. So don't do that. Be on the lookout. He talks about that. I always get my name. I cannot do names today, people. I have brain degeneration. I'm sorry. I'm having a really bad time with names lately. But he does that. What's it called? Clavin Piven, whatever. There's that whole thing. But if somebody could throw up Winning's links, I'd appreciate it, especially his Rumble, because the Rumble has full on videos that YouTube didn't mess with. If you want backstory and stuff like that, all different things, then go to YouTube. If you want the newer stuff that has been being censored or being cut off, go to Rumble. Digital Soldier, 3 minutes ago, Joe posted on Locals, no oral argument today, and the rest can only be viewed by paying subscribers. Well, let's just see, since I'm a paying subscriber. There we go. No oral argument today, but the clerk is supposed to review our papers and schedule us to return for oral argument. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon, Joseph. Hopefully soon. So for anybody just joining, this is just a stream to support Joe, to get his links out there, to see if we can get him some gifts and go. Give, send, go. I have a really hard time saying that name. Because I want to say gift and go, but that's not it. Hey, Karen O, how are you doing? Would you sneak in here? I didn't see I'm not seeing something by Karen O. I am not seeing it. Why am I missing people? Well, Daisy said hello to you. So hello, Karen. How are you? Daisy girl, thank you, Shelly. Don't thank me. This is for Joe. There's Joe. How you doing, Joe? No argument today. I see that. I was just about to. Yep, there we go. Now I see Karen O. I was just about to play the preview that you put up yesterday. Let's see, real quick. I am gonna do this. Joseph, I sent you, I know you're busy. I don't know what you're doing, but if you want to jump on, I sent a link to your Twitter. So you're more than welcome to jump on and take over. So again, like if you go to my description, you'll find everything for Joe. There's the donate link, there's the share links for his Twitter, for his YouTube, and for his Rumble. And again, like I said, support him. See, now I was going to talk about you, Joe, but now you're here, and now I don't want to. Now I don't want to. Hey, Michael J is here. Daisy Williams Karen has been here. She pulled me out of future conflict chat to let me know you had an update. Yeah, no. I'm glad that, he's not getting the oral argument today since they won't let us see it anyway. And maybe we can get a couple more people interested in backing him up. You're leaving, talk away. Why don't I believe you, Joe? Why don't I believe you? So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this. I'm going to play an excerpt that he put up from when he was on Nick's thing, which I also sent Nick a thing that said, "Oh, I loved watching you and Joe tonight." Because it was just mwah, chef's kiss. Here we go. So I want to show you why I support Joe and what he's doing. So here we go. Let me know if you can hear it well or not.
And if I have to march all the way to the Supreme Court and pound on those doors and beg them to let me in there so I can pound on those doors and scream in the faces of those justices that God, no, this cannot happen, I am going to do that. I am suing Judge Merchan, the judge who gagged Trump. And my reason for suing him is to try and get the gag overturned as being unconstitutional, and by issuing an unconstitutional order that results in violating my rights as a media to hear from him and report that to the public at large. The theories I'm presenting are that the judge misanalyzed the law and then misapplied the law, and that this is facially unduly prejudicial to his 14th Amendment rights for due process. Because here you have these outsider witnesses who are bashing him day after day, and it's illegal for him to respond to them. Those are the three primary arguments I present. The papers that were submitted in opposition do very little to refute the legal theories that I put out there. There's 37 pages, and the first 33 pages, they don't talk at all about my legal arguments. It's only the last 2 or 3 pages they even try refuting my legal arguments, and they do a pretty paltry job at that. Notwithstanding that, I am realistic enough to know that when I'm arguing the First Department is the appellate division that covers New York City, meaning Manhattan specifically, and the Bronx. The justices who are sitting there, who are very learned individuals, most people do not expect them to be very receptive to my legal arguments, and that they will probably reject it out of hand. I've already retained counsel to try and assist me on this matter. This counsel I retained is representing my company, because I'm suing as Good Lawgic LLC, and under myself personally, Joseph Nierman. So he's representing Good Lawgic LLC, and I'm still coming in pro se. This way we can both argue. He can argue for Good Lawgic, and I can argue under my own personal interest. We're both expecting I'm probably going to lose on Monday. I'm going to make as strong a fight as possible. Assuming we do not win, we plan on appealing at the Court of Appeals. That's the highest court in the state of New York. If we don't succeed in the Court of Appeals, we plan on going to the Supreme Court. My attorney, who is someone who's very experienced in fighting against COVID restrictions and other based constitutional interests, is very confident that
Everybody, we have a little bit of a guest over here. I don't know if he hit it by accident or he's having a hard time getting in, but we'll wait on Joe a little bit. Karen O said, FYI, Daisy Girl let me know to come here for info. Daisy Girl, that's my girl. Daisy's been with me since my very first stream ever. Joe's having a hard time. I'm going to let him go backstage, see see if anything happens there. We'll continue
That the Supreme Court will grant us.
we'll continue
cert,
listening to
and that
Joe
this will
while he
actually
tries to get in.
before the Supreme Court, and he's very optimistic that we ultimately will prevail here. This is a fight for our First Amendment rights, as I keep saying over and over again. This is not about Donald Trump. While I have Donald Trump up there, and yeah, he would be the first beneficiary if we are successful here, this is ultimately a fight for our First Amendment rights. Because when they've expanded the usage of gag orders in the way that they have as applied to Donald Trump, that is a law that's on the books forever. Whether you love or hate Donald Trump, in 10 years, reality says he's not going to be part of our political landscape anymore. He's going to be ancient history. But these laws will be here in 10 years. They'll be here in 20 years, in 50 years. Your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren will be dealing with this damage to our First Amendment rights, which New York and DC and these various judges are willing to twist and bend our constitutional protections and say, oh, we can issue a gag order here. And if they're doing it here, they're going to do it again and again and again and again. And that's why I'm in this fight. This is not about me. It's not about good logic. It's not about Donald Trump. This is a matter that I happen to be well positioned to engage in this fight. And that's why I'm fighting. Because I want my children to live in a country where our First Amendment rights still mean the same damn thing that it meant when I was growing up, which is something that is held inviolate. Accordingly, if you wish to support my cause here, we're expecting that the out-of-pocket costs, forget about attorney's fees, out-of-pocket costs for just applying for certiorari before the Supreme Court will be roughly $22,000 to $25,000. You have to pay $15,000 to an attorney who's a specialist in drafting cert, which neither I nor my attorney are. You need a specialized person who drafts these papers, and the expected cost of his work is going to be $15,000. The printing fees are $7,500.
That's
so this
ridiculous.
is our initial costs without any travel or any other things, just to get these papers in suitable form with a likely chance of success of cert being granted by the Supreme Court. And I recognize that we're working on it.
Just so you know, the whole reason that I'm playing this part is because I want everybody who's thinking about donating or who's thinking about sharing it to understand what they're donating toward. This is not a grift. He's not making money off this. This is costing him. It's costing him to fight this fight. I told you it takes a lot of bravery. It also takes a lot of money because Joe is a lawyer, but he's not a constitutional lawyer. He's not this type of lawyer. He can do it. He's been drafting up, motions and like writing up everything he's supposed to do for days, weeks, actually, if you really want to get into it. He's done a lot of research, but he needs help. He needs people who know more specifics than he does. And he also needs people to represent him at some point. So, because only a fool represents himself. But I mean, he's suing this judge and he's going all out. He needs the help. That's the only reason I'm running this at the regular speed. I'm not speeding through it like I usually do. Because I want you guys to understand and to be able to tell people, no, this is a legit cause. This is not something where he's going to go out and buy himself a new car afterwards, because why not? Like, he's not asking for a ridiculous amount of money. He's literally just lowballing it at this point because it will build up and it will build up quickly. And even though he chose to take this fight on, he didn't choose to take it on just for himself. He's taking it on for other people. So I believe we should support him. We absolutely should support him. 96.4K last night, 96.5K right now. Let's go. Let's get Joe. See, I'm not the only one who has a hard time, with names. Jacob just called him Jow. I'm not going there. Let's get Joe over 100K. Michael J said, kudos to you, Shelley, for getting this out to other people. I don't have much of a reach. I mean, I have like a 600 people reach on, what the hell is it called? X. But if I can get it out to somebody who's got a bigger reach than me, then great. Like, just take all the links out of my description and pass them on. Just copy paste the damn description. It's fine. Nobody's going to say anything. You don't have to send them here. This is not about me. It's not about any of that. It's that Joe has never let me down. Ever. Joe's the reason that I'm on YouTube. Him and Nick. I mean, I wouldn't have found Nick without Joe. I wouldn't have found a lot of people without Joe. You know, because Joe has a tendency to rant late at night, and I fell asleep in one of his streams and woke up. He redirected somewhere else, and I was like, where the hell am I? And that's how I met a certain amphibian who introduced me to a lot of really worthwhile people. And that's how I met Winning. And I wouldn't be here today without Winning. So, you know, you follow the chain of command going all the way back, and you know, Joe's one of those people who really changed my life. Him and Nick. I love me some Nick Rekieta. I don't care what anybody says about him. And him and Joe, when they get together, it's the best night ever for me. Especially if they're talking religion. Oh, good Lord. Like, I love it. I sit there I'll sit there with popcorn, literally with popcorn. Like, go ahead. And I'll just be DMing Nick going, you idiot, you asshole. I love this. Keep going. Because it's great. I live for those moments. I'm gonna continue the Joe thing right now so that you really get an idea of how much he's putting out for this and how much your support means to him. He's a very genuine man, and I will praise him when I know he's not listening.
An expedited timetable. Obviously, we want to get this gag lifted as soon as possible. So I brought this application before the appellate court on an expedited basis. And that's why, even though I filed these papers a couple of weeks ago, we should be reaching resolution on Monday. And then I plan on moving on an expedited basis before the Court of Appeals. And that could take a couple of weeks also. And then in theory, I can be running to the Supreme Court.
I love that little
I need
thing.
to have money there
So
to pay someone to actually prepare these papers in the eventuality that we all think is most likely to happen, which is that the state of New York is not going to grant this application, and that we are going to need to seek relief before the Supreme Court of the United States. Accordingly, I set up a
He's fighting an uphill battle, y'all.
Remember, because it's givesendgo.com/ungagtrump. I was very happy to see that was available. givesendgo.com/ungagtrump. I'm going to be completely transparent with you and tell you this. I had to set initial money up, and I set up $25,000. I know, look, as this gains more recognition, especially, oh my God, if this thing is actually granted cert, and that will start getting national attention in this case. In that case, I can imagine that the campaign funds we raise would probably be great, far, far, far greater than are actually needed to cover out-of-pocket costs. I will tell you all this. The deal I made with my attorneys here is assuming that we were to raise as much as $100,000, I personally would get none of that. I wouldn't get a penny of that until it exceeds $110,000 under the contractual agreement I made with my attorneys here, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm doing this I'm doing this as some sort of grift to try and get MAGA to feed me money to help Trump. This is not about freaking Donald Trump. While I certainly pray that he wins the next election, this is not about him. Frankly, I actually think that his presidential odds are actually best if they were to convict him or throw him in prison. So yeah, and this gag order, it makes him a far more sympathetic figure. This is not about Donald Trump. This is a matter that if we allow the courts to actually recognize the fair administration of justice as being a legitimate basis to trample our First Amendment rights, you will have no rights at all. Because what they're really saying here, if you read their freaking papers, what they're really saying is it's not anything specific that Donald Trump is saying.
Castro.
It's that MAGA is uniquely dangerous. That is what this whole thing is about. And that he has the complete control over MAGA, and they are such a dangerous entity that we cannot allow him to communicate with MAGA about anything related to this trial. Otherwise, this trial will be upended, and people all of a sudden there'll be chaos in the streets of New York. That's essentially what they're saying.
Isn't already.
That MAGA, they didn't try daring to try and muzzle MLK when he's the head of the black community. They didn't go after Malcolm X, which frankly would have been equally stupid, because even though they could have said, oh, he's a threat to fair administration of justice. If we're going to let him speak,
a martyr.
in that case, black community is going to rise up here, and there's going to be all sorts of craziness. No. That was not a threat. That was not enough of a threat, nor should it have been. at all. And if they had actually issued such
Red
a
is the
decision at
color
that
of
time,
martyrdom.
back in the
Remember
60s
that.
or in the 50s when MLK was being prosecuted, I'll tell you right now, we today would look back at that decision as so unjust. It would be comparable to the Korematsu decision because it's such a terribly stupid decision. And I'll tell you right now, 50 years from now, we will look back at this decision, if it's allowed to stand up, as being moronic and crazy and leading to utter chaos here. And that's why I'm fighting my tail off here. And I want to make as evident as possible that this is not about me making money. This is not about me or my rights or whatever. I just happen to be the person who, even though I don't feel like I'm fully capable of doing this on my own, because I'm a freaking commercial litigator. I'm not a civil rights attorney. I'm not a constitutional lawyer, but I am a recognized member of the media because of this stupid badge that they made me get. And I happen to be an attorney, and I happen to have enough belief in our Constitution that I say, you know what? I am going to go in there and fight with my stupid little slingshot like a crazy lunatic and put my neck in a noose here in front of the office court administration coming in there, sneering their noses at me, looking at me like I'm some crazy crackpot who's standing here coming and think that I'm some crazy Trumpist, not recognize the fact that this is not about Donald Trump. This is about our First Amendment rights. And I'm not going to let you just go willy-nilly off into the night and start changing all the rules here and start saying fair administration of justice, therefore we gag whoever we want because MAGA is so dangerous. Because this is not about Donald Trump. This is about you. This is about me. This is about the next time any one of us who has any kind of microphone. I'll tell you right now, God forbid, if anyone you know, who you watch, who supports political activity or political perspectives that you agree with, I'll tell you right now, God forbid, any one of them ends up being prosecuted for something, they will say fair administration of justice and that this person has too many fans. He's got 20,000 fans who like him, and God knows what happens. If he tweets out, he's got to be silenced.
People.
Yeah, they need to be silenced. That's what's going to happen over and over again. Oh, this guy has a Twitter account which has 400 followers. We don't know what they're going to do if we allow him to speak. We have to gag him too. Every one of us is going to be ripe for a gag in the fair administration of justice, which means nothing. It's a made-up term. So that's why we have to stand up against this. And if I have to march all the way to the Supreme Court and pound on those doors and beg them to let me in there so I can pound on those doors and scream in the faces of those justices that God, no, this cannot happen, I am going to do that. And that's why I say, look, I just want to have enough financial support that I actually can afford to get in there. So if whatever you can do to spare, to chip in on that, or you know what, even if you don't have any money, just a friendly message of saying, you know what, Joe, I appreciate that. Appreciate the efforts here. That would be meaningful too. So it's givesendgo.com/ungag.
Go, Joe. You go ahead. All right. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Joe Nierman. I love that man. I think he's amazing. I do. I just think he's phenomenal. Now that I know he's gone, because he texted me that he couldn't connect, Joe is the man. Joe is the man. So here, like, I wrote a couple things down. Like, I wanted to say, this is the Joe that I met when I first, stumbled onto LawTube. That was my very first impression of Joe. He was, rah, 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 and I was like, who is this maniac? And then I'm like, oh shit, he makes sense. I was like, that wasn't something I had seen on YouTube up till then. I was watching Tug and everything with the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing. But Joe is a whole other animal. Go ahead. Go do the thing. Do the thing. He's looking for it. I'm going to get cut off any minute, but it's fine. I'm just checking my stream. Stream is healthy. Yay. YouTube hasn't messed with me yet. YouTube has been messing with his subs for a while. It has. He was so close, Michael. He was so close. And I watched, he was so close. And I was like, yes, he's going to do it. And then all of a sudden he went down like 3,000 subs. I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. I was like, this is freaking ridiculous. I'm telling you, last night he only had 300 people watching that I could see. And I kept refreshing. I was like, no, this isn't right. And they're pushing his streams down. You've been watching him for a while. Yeah, I've been watching him for over 2 years. I mean, he really was like the first voice of reason out there that I came across. And it was just like, oh, wow. And the one thing, like, there's a lot of things that I like about Joe. I have a lot of respect for Joe. I like the things he says. I love how passionate he is about his beliefs and his values and how well he explains it, even though he doesn't try to be frou-frou about it. He doesn't try to use legal jargon to confuse you or to make himself look better. He gets right down in the weeds with you, and he's like, he just talks to you on your level and you get it. And he pays attention to his chat. He's not like great about paying attention to his chat, but to be fair, we talk a lot. And we talk a lot of ish in his chat. But I mean, there's people that I met in his chat that I'm still like really good friends with. I first met T-Rex Trucking and More there. I met Darth Hideous there. Now, give or take whether that's a blessing or a curse, these are two men that I happen to care about very much. I met them there. And from there I went to other streams, because I would fall asleep because Joe was on late at night, to be fair. And I met other people. And like I said, that's how I met Winning. But I have huge respect for Joe, and anybody who knows me and my regular chatters know I don't respect people. I don't. You earn my respect or you don't get it. You don't. It's a Jersey thing, maybe. Maybe it's a North Jersey thing. Maybe it's a Hoboken thing. Maybe it's a me thing. I don't know. But I've had enough people disappoint me and turn out to be fake that I'm not giving you trust, respect, or care until you've earned all three. I care about Joe. I respect Joe. I trust Joe. I trust Joe to tell me exactly what's on his mind without any bullshit. I expect him to be fun sometimes and be super serious sometimes. He runs the gamut, but he's always authentic. He's always himself. Joe is great to talk to. He is great to talk to. Let me tell you something. He's hopped on Winning streams like all the time. And it's just like a couple of times he did it. And it's always a wonderful conversation. And we have fun. We tease him a lot. There's actually something I do have ready that I want to show you guys. Oh my God. I completely convinced myself that somebody was waiting to interrupt me backstage. And I did it to myself because it's what I want to show you. I don't know if you guys know Winning Reality. He does these parody and music videos and stuff like that. And he did one on LawTube is Getting Weird. And Joe likes this part, so I want to play it. And because I also want to run to the bathroom. So while I run to the bathroom, you guys watch this short this piece.
But hey, you lawyers, spin the wheel. Alt indie from 2009 at a festival. This is gonna be good. But it actually could
Victorious Joe. I love that. I kind of want that on a t-shirt. That would look good on a t-shirt, wouldn't it? It's amazing. For those with the discerning eye, you might have caught, I believe Lady Lawgic is in the crowd. Winning has a way of just sneaking people's faces in there. But yeah, I figured I'd play that because I really enjoyed that clip, and I know Joe enjoys it too. I figured it would give him a chuckle. So yeah, so there's that. But I have a great amount of respect, and I love Joe. He's one of those people that you can't help but you wish that you knew them in real life. Like, I would be so proud to call Joe my brother. I wish my brothers were more like him. They're so not. They went the other way. But he's a stand-up guy, and any support you could give him, I would appreciate it. Joe would appreciate it. We all would. He's definitely worth every penny, and he's worth every moment of time you can spend. Gutter's Pub, how you doing, honey? Oh, look at that. Oh, Gutter is a new member. You know what that means. New memberships get the new member thing. Here we go.
Welcome to the madhouse, we be running muck. Keep it all real and we don't give a fuck. World gone crazy, we here dancing in the rain. Welcome to Shelly's house, we just a little bit insane. Bring your real self, I ain't asking for more, except one thing, leave your bullshit at the door.
There you go. Thank you, Gutters Pub, for being a member. Being a member, you get one free super chat every month. And Gutter is a real one. She's always out there. Make sure you check her out. If somebody could, you ever see my mods? Wolfram, you're so good. He already threw your link out there. There you go. She's another patriot. So we all got to stick together. I mean, really, anybody who loves this country, who loves having their own rights, who loves privacy, the right to free speech, the right to bear arms, the right to, a lawful, peaceful assembly, the right to due process. Anybody who believes in the tenets that this country was founded on needs to get in this fight in any way you can. Right now, Joe is engaged in a fight for all our First Amendment rights. First they're coming after Trump, then they're going to come after you. Doesn't matter what you did. Could you imagine going to court? Say you have, I don't know, somebody accused you of some heinous thing. And you go to court and you try to defend yourself and they tell you, no, you can't say anything. Not only that, you can't tell anybody outside this court what we're doing to you or the bullshit that we're putting on the stand or the way we're treating you. You don't get to expose the judicial corruption going on in this country because we're not going to let you. You don't have that right, except you do have that right. You have that right under several amendments to defend yourself, be it in a court of law or in public. Your ability to defend yourself is your survival 101. You're instinctually geared to protect yourself. What they're trying to do is make it so that you are always going to be vulnerable to the whims of the establishment. It's not fair. It's not right. And it's illegal. It's unconstitutional. It is un-American. Joe is fighting for the constitutional rights that we have coming to us, our God-given rights. They're like, oh, you don't have these rights. It's just the people. No, it was stated we formed this country on God-given rights. Who is the judicial system to take those rights away from us? That is the government putting themselves above God. I don't go for that. I'm not the most religious person out there. I'm really not. I mean, you can tell by the way I talk. but there's nobody higher than God. These are rights God gave to us. It was decided 250 plus years ago that this is what we were going to run this nation on. And then all of a sudden now they want to take it away. They say, oh no, what we say goes, not, what the Constitution says. No, that's not how it works. So if Joe has to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court, he will. And we will back him every step of the way. I wish there was more I could do. He's got this gifts and go to help him, fund the whole legal side of it, because legal battles are expensive. You heard him break it down. Just printing the things out is ridiculous, what they charge for everything. And he's doing most of the legwork himself. So, I mean, he's like, this is like shoestring budget, what we're actually aiming at right now. He could go far beyond this 25,000. Knock wood, toot. I hope he doesn't. But he also knows that he's fighting an uphill battle. He's going to get smacked down at every single turn. And he's going to have to take it as far as he can to get himself heard, to make it, stick, to make anybody take him seriously. I wish Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Tucker Carlson knew what Joe was doing. Everybody that's on Twitter, what would happen if you just told everybody on Twitter, just, hey, at these people, at Elon Musk, at Tucker Carlson, at Alex Jones, at The Benny Show, at Tim Pool, at, what the hell's that other guy's name? Louder with Crowder. At them all and tell them about Joe. Do that for me. Do that for you. You don't even have to do it for Joe, because it's not about Joe just as much as it's not about Trump. It's about us. It's about us staying free and holding on to every right we have left, because they're trying their damnedest to rip them away from us. If they do that, we're not living in America anymore. We're not living in a democratic republic. We're not living in the people's, republic. We're not the people. We are their people. We're supposed to be the ones who are calling the shots, who tell these lawmakers and legislators what we want the country to be like, what we want the states to be responsible for. And instead, they're running with it and they're saying, no, we're going to tell you what to do, whether you like it or not. Majority, screw the majority. And make no mistake, the majority is together. They want us to look divided. We're not as divided as they think. You could put black against white, man against woman, trans against, everybody else. Like, you could do all that. That's fine. You want to divide, they're not going to stop. But there's one thing that unites us is we're all Americans. We all have these rights. And let me tell you something, if they win, we're all going to lose them. That's not the way I want to be unified, by our losses. I want us to be unified in our victories. Cat Ninja, talk about fighters. She said, you got to fight for your right to speak. That's right. I mean, I grew up fighting for my right to party, but now I got to fight for the right to speak. Somehow it's not as much fun. But again, like I told you, it's not about Joe. But I support Joe for many, many reasons. He's a stand-up guy. He's an awesome dude. I love his dad. If you haven't checked out Greater Lawgic, oh, good Lord, Papa Lawgic, that's what I call him. I love that man. I can sit there and listen to him tell stories for days and never be the slightest bit bored. Just tell me more. He's a very genuine, very heartfelt, religious man. And he's just got a really good heart, and you can tell he's got a lot of wisdom and a lot of care. See, people have things that drive them, but then there are people who are just genuinely caring people who they just care about others, whether they know them or not. Papa Lawgic is like that. Joe is like that. Joe's an amazing He's an amazing man. He's an amazing father. He's an amazing husband. I love Lady Lawgic. If you haven't seen her, she's gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Like she's like legit gorgeous. He's got great kids. He's got some that are married. He's still got little ones, that are still in, like, I believe, in the single digits. Like, he's a great father. He's there for his kids. He's an honorable man. He's truthful. He's passionate about everything. And yet he's humble. He's dedicated. He's brave. He looks great in blue. If you haven't seen him after Purim, like, I think I pronounced that right. You got to see that video. Check out his, like, literally just scroll through YouTube and just put blue good Lawgic, and I'm sure it'll come up because it's hysterical. But Joe's a good time, and he's a good man. And those are two things you don't always get together. Winning and I both owe Joe a lot. He's a good friend. He's a good person. We both donated to the cause. I'm on a budget. So like whatever I get in, I usually like pass back out, but I couldn't give as much money as I want to. So I figured, what's the one thing I have? I have my show. I have time. I have a voice, and I can be persuasive, and I'm definitely genuine. And I want people to hear how genuine I am about this topic and about Joe. I don't want you to think this is something you're going into and you're going to get grifted, or you're going to get, oh, I'm doing this and he's going to go off and, buy himself a new suit for court or whatever. No, it's not about that. He's not that type of person. So I figured, I have my time. I have tons of time to give. That's what I'll do. That's why I dedicated this stream to him. I knew it wasn't going to be an overlong stream, but I just want it to get out there. Wolfram said first they came for the socialists and I didn't speak out. And then they came for the Jews and I didn't speak out. Then they came for me and there was no one left to speak for me. And that's a quote by Martin Niemöller? How do you say that? I'm just going to say Niemöller. I know it's not right. It's some like Niemöller or whatever. I don't know how to say it. So thank you, Wolfram, for that. Next time, I want you to put in parentheses, put the phonetic spelling so I don't mess it up. But yeah, I'm really passionate about you guys supporting Joe and doing whatever you can. He's a great guy. You saw he was going to pop on here. I'm a nobody. I have 700 plus subs. I'm not going to have that big of a reach, but if I can get 5 people to pass it on, maybe those people will pass it on to somebody bigger and bigger. We need to get this out to people who have a big reach. And like I said, it's not about me. It's not even about Joe. It's not even about Trump. It's about all of us. It's about, we saw what they did to Alex Jones, right? Well, do you think that was right? He went in and the judge was like, you're not allowed to say this, or this. Well, it just happened to be that this, or this exonerated him of everything that they were accusing him of. And so, no, I'm sorry, you can't prove your innocence. The law of the land is innocent until proven guilty. And that's not how the judicial system is working. They're reverse engineering and they're bypassing and they're manufacturing and exacerbating things. They're exaggerating charges because the actual charge they wanted to charge him with ran out with the statute of limitations. It ran out of time because nobody wanted to prosecute because it was a bullshit charge. So what do like desperate people do when they're, in a corner? If you say, oh, well, this teeny tiny charge is misdemeanor, it's ran out of time and it's not applicable anyway. So what do these desperate people do? They bump it up to some trumped up, pardon the pun, felony charge, which is also bullshit. It's even more bullshit than the first one. And they're trying to they're not even trying to sneak it in. Hey, ZD, what's up? Who's Joe? Joe Nierman. That's good Lawgic. Good Lawgic is trying to get an order to ungag Trump. He's suing Judge Merchan for trying to take away Trump's First Amendment rights. Not trying. I mean, that's what he's doing. He's literally stripping him of his First Amendment rights and then punishing him. So it's not only stripping him, but it's punitive as well. So this is what this is about. I'm trying to get people to either donate to the Gifts and Go that'll, keep him going back and forth to court and, help, ease the financial burden, or to get his links out to inundate like people like Tim Pool, Elon Musk, all the good guys. Louder with Crowder, the Benny Johnson show. I love you, Benny, just so you know. Who else did I mention, guys? I can't remember the list. I should have wrote it down. I write everything down. That I didn't write down. But like, get it out to the bigwigs. Oh, you're subscribed to him? Good. That makes me happy. Thank you for that too. I know you were probably already subscribed, but I'm going to thank you anyway. I thank anybody who subbed to Joe. We need to get him over 100K. He's up to 96, I think 96.7, you guys said. So anything we can do to get the word out about Joe. If you go to my description, don't worry about my stream. My stream is crap. This is bullshit anyway. Not the content. It's just like, this is just me promoting Joe. I took my Monday show and said, no, I need to push Joe. Go to the description and you'll have all the links you need for Joe in there. There's his Gifts and Go. There's his Twitter, his YouTube, his Rumble. Follow him on everything. Repost whatever you can. Just take copy paste, throw it into your Twitter and send it to at Elon Musk, at Benny Johnson, at Tucker Carlson, at Alex Jones. Just keep sending it to them. Because I'm desperate to get somebody big to realize what he's doing. You heard him in his video say he's standing there with his little slingshot. For those not in the know, he's talking about David and Goliath. He's David. He's the little kid who everybody laughed at when he went up against the giant soldier who massacred armies on his own. So he's up against this giant entity and nobody believes that, the little guy's going to have the power. But, he's got faith. We have to have faith in him, but we also have to do the work. He's doing the legwork. We got to do the support work. I don't have the brains to do what he's doing. I don't. I'm very intelligent in many other areas. Law, not one of them. But my heart is in it. His brains, his drive, his passion, his absolute determination to protect free speech should galvanize everybody and put everybody into motion. So if you can, please do support him. Do everything you can. And I appreciate it. I'm sure Joe appreciates it. He's a very humble man. Like I said, he's the reason I'm here. He's the reason I'm on YouTube. He's the reason why I've had the opportunity to talk people off the ledge many, many times. He's a good man when it comes down to it. And it's a good cause. It's the best cause. It's not about college protests and encampments. It's not about any of that. That was a distraction from whatever we'll find out in a couple months they did while we were looking at college campuses. The whole thing with Trump, that's not a distraction. That's an attack. That's an attack on the former commander-in-chief of this country because they don't ever want him put in power again because he knows their game. Hey, cool gamer. He knows their game. He knows what they're doing. He knows their agenda. He knows their goal. And Trump is willing to stand in front and say, no, not on my watch. We need that. I don't care if you like Trump or not. I don't care if you believe in Trump or not. You need to fight for what's best for you. And what's in your best interest is Trump. Because 4 more years of what we got going now, we won't have a country left. And I don't mean that hyperbolically. I mean, I genuinely believe we will have no morals. We will have no structure. We will have no justice. We'll be nobody. And it won't be our country anymore. We'll be under their rule. Because make no mistake, Joe Biden's administration is just as bad as King George's was. We fought to get out from underneath, an oppressive monarchy. And what did we fight for? Just to return to it 250 years later? It's not right. People died to give us these freedoms. Who are we not to stand up and at least give some of our time to help somebody else lead the fight? Get behind them. If you can't be a soldier on your feet, be a soldier in word, be a soldier in emotion, be a soldier in action, and give what you can. If it's your time, if it's your words, do a stream, do a short. It doesn't matter. Just bring attention to what he's got going on so that people don't lose hope. Because make no mistake, what Joe is doing is giving us hope. He's giving us hope in a world where everything is violent and negative and unfair, unjust. And he's trying to undo that just by doing this. He had the balls to say, I'm doing it. It's one thing to want to do something like this. It's a whole other to throw it into action. And once he decided he was doing it, he went whole hog. He went all in. And I respect the hell out of him for that. So I'm going to end it on that note and say, please, if you can, go to the description, get those links, send them out. If you can contribute, then contribute. If you can't, like I said, just keep sending stuff out, share it, follow him, subscribe to him, make sure you have your notifications on so you get updates. Didi said, well, I don't have liquid funds, but I'll go back and rewatch and share videos. That'll help to generate funds as well. Correct? Yes, absolutely. That's what I mean. Like I'm going to be perfectly honest. I gave $25. I can't afford to give more than that, but I can do this. I can do this as many times as I need to. I was hoping he was going to court today so we could, see him really I've never seen Lawyer Joe in action. I've seen behind the scenes Lawyer Joe, but I've never gotten to see Lawyer Joe. And I mean, if you haven't checked Joe out before, really just check out his channel. He's amazing. His rants are amazing. He always helps smaller YouTube creators. He's not frou-frou in any way. He's not, this uppity kind of, I have almost 100,000. He's not like that. I mean, you saw he was going to jump on here. I'm nothing. My channel is nothing. It could go away tomorrow. Nobody would notice. But his time, he gives it freely. And it's not the first time. So please, if you can, I'm going to end it here, but please support Joe. And really, I mean, there's nothing else I can say. There's nothing else I can say, but I'm going to jam out with a different thing. I'm going to let you watch the rest of LawTube. I'm going to end it here with Winning's thing. I got to set it up though. Damn it. Is that the one? No. Is that the one? No, that's not it. That's not it either. Damn it. I think that's it. There we go. Share that tab. You know what, guys? Give me 2 seconds. I want to see if maybe somebody is live so I can redirect and get this out even more. Let's see. We got Valhalla Awaits and Broken. I'm going to send you guys to Broken Baker. And you can go over there and make sure you spread it out over there too. Oh, Wolfram said we would know. I know you would notice. Thank you, you and Cat Ninja. Oh, I love you guys. Anyway, we're going to rock out of here. I'm going to redirect to Broken Baker. So just hold on and go over to him. Tell him I said hi. And we're going to end on some law tubiness from Winning Reality. You guys have a good one. I love you.
Whoa. Wow. A lot of weird things have happened so far during this series. But I think traveling back in time to see Joe young again was probably the weirdest so far. But you never know. This thing just keeps getting weirder and weirder, and it never stops. So, hey, look, make sure that you subscribe, ring that bell, and also check into my locals. It's free, right? As well as Rumble. It'll all be there. That way you can keep up with the news and see what's going on here in the Lawtainment universe. See you soon.
I don't know what that is. Wait, I'm going to go back to the Joe thing and we'll just rock out. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to go back to the Joe thing because it's cute. Here we go.
But it actually could be
They say the devil's water, it ain't so sweet. You don't have to